All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sabra Seti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. It's going down this Sunday. The secret connection between Thanksgiving and Christmas, November 19th. Guaranteed to be a hell of a ride. I want you in the house as we break down the occult understanding of Thanksgiving leading into Christmas. I mean, it's guaranteed to be an extraordinary presentation. Click that link, and I'll see you this Sunday. To my family out there, I'm excited and delighted to be accepted members to the Sarah Seti YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all know what it is. Black power, black frequency. You feeling that frequency and energy, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your energy here at the Sarah Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com online marketplace. Official General Sarah Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, and hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house, 25% off selected items at this time. Time save and shop and save, kingseti.com. That's right, family. Pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com, SETI University. Over 1,200 videos of pure heat presented by General SETI himself, plus, plus the supplemental, but also monumental and instrumental research material, documentaries, live streams from the Grandmaster teacher, and an overview from the general on the Grandmaster teachers and they teachings, giving you 360 degrees of supreme African knowledge that cannot be competed with nowhere compared to by no website on the planet. Get over there today, generalseti.com. SETI University family. And of course, SETI popping on Patreon, BPC making noise. We never come. Ray, what's up, Ray? Oh man, we had a motherfucker in here. We had hobby shots in here, man. How you miss, man? We had a. Was you in the last one? I didn't see. Man, I was. Oh my God, man, you missed it, man. Was you there? I didn't see you. Okay. But anyway, y'all already know City popping on Patreon, BPC making noise. We never calm. Exclusive live stream, too hot to handle on YouTube or any other tube. And you know I got that fire. When I tell you I got that fire, we just tonight, which one we did? We did the one on the Kabbalah. The demons and the Kabbalahs. You need to get on over there and check that out. I most definitely be advertising it. You see, we're Oh man, Ray, man, you missed the hell of them, man. We had hobby shots over here, man. Hobby shots came in here, man. And was yapping. Man, I put his ass on the George Foreman grill. You understand what I'm saying? I put his monkey ass on the George. I had fun with his ass. Man, I damn near, man, I'm still, man. If anything happened and I have to laugh, man, I'll probably be back crying again. I'm just on the verge of, I'm talking about one of them laughs and shit, man, where goddamn, man, I'm just crying laughing. And shit, please don't goddamn one little laugh, man, and I probably can't stop. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and so family, I want y'all to get over there, Patreon, check me out. To all the family that donate to the general, I want to say I appreciate you and I thank you. And to any of the other family out there, want to keep the general on the battlefield, want to support the general, please donate. And I thank you ahead of time. Link is in the video description, is in the chat also. That's right. And make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King SETI, General SETI, Sarasu SETI. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass after I talk about you like a goddamn dog. All right. Shocking. Archaeologists in Israel find ancient temple to goat god and a cave dug the gates of hell. Okay, that's right. Archaeologists in Israel find ancient temples, God, and cave dug the gates of hell. See, this is what I want to show you. Because when I show you the occult and I tell you about Vulcan and I tell you about Pan and I tell you about all these gods. Well, anyway, they practice Kabbalism. That's right, we black. What up, G? Yeah, we live tonight. Yeah, when I say anybody, when you go off into Kabbalism, shit, Saturn and Vulcan ain't shit. When you look at all them goddamn demons them motherfuckers got up in the Kabbalah, you know, good goddamn well, Saturn and Pan, what the fuck is that? That's nothing. You know, you should be able to accept that. Yeah, they worship Vulcan and Pan and Beelzebub and Azazel and all the other goddamn demons and shit in there. You understand what I'm saying? And so they admit to that. They admit to that. So you know that it shouldn't be hard for you to believe that they worship Saturn and Pan when they get and they call on the name of Beelzebub and all the rest of them. Shit, all the 72 demons of goddamn Solomon they call on in the Kabbalah. Okay. Yeah, yeah, we in the house, G. What's happening? That's right. Yeah, so let's deal with this. Let's cut into this. Let's cut right on into this. Put some work in. Okay, that's gonna be on my pan one. Let me get the pan right here. Yeah, here we go. Right here. I took some pictures. I didn't even clean them up. Need to clean them up. I don't got to touch them though. All right. I ain't got to touch them. I ain't got to touch them. Come on in with it. Okay. Let me select water and get that out of there. All right. Here we go. Now, if you want to know, the city is Caesarea Philippi. Caesarea Philippi. Now, this was an area very important to the Romans because we understand that Rome ruled uh what the nation that people call Israel for over 400 years. And so they had temples all through here, all through Israel, all through Lebanon, all the way up into Turkey, and because that was Byzantine. The Byzantine was also an extension of the Roman Empire. So Israel was ruled by Rome and also Byzantium continuously. Because Constantine moved his capital to Constantinople, which is in Turkey today. It's called Istanbul, but when it was ruled by the Byzantine Romans, it was called Constantinople. Okay. Now, when you go to Caesarea Philippi, okay, you'll be astonished the fact that there was a whole temple complex. Okay, where's I got a lot of I just got to work on that. This is some of the caves, you see the niches where they would have been statues. Let me make sure I'm clear. Make sure I'm clear. Let me blow this up. Now, I'll give y'all some, here we go. Now this is, you see that now, if you see this temple right here, I believe this temple was to Zeus, or it was to the sea, and you can see it's right in front of a cave. It's right in front of a cave, and now that temple is no longer there. You know, it's no longer there, and so you can look right into the cave. You know, you see here that cave is the cave of Pan, and they consider that the gates of hell. You know, they call it the gates of hell because Pan was the primordial goat god. You see, he was the primordial goat god. They even got an altar over there. Now, this might be too raw. You know, even though I don't see none, I don't see none, but you already get, you know, they got statues of that shit over there now. I mean, just real talk. So this is in Israel, and so I'm just letting you know that what you just saw is, you know, they got they have statues of Pan all through there. You know, here again, this is a statue of Pan that's in Israel. Israel. You see the guy right here pick it up. You see, I guess the shit just out there. I guess they let you pick it up and shit, take a picture, and so, the complex you can see, now this, over here, if you look way over here, you see uh, I believe this was the temple of the dancing goats. You know, you can see right there 3 goats out there, and it says, "Before the birth of the so-called Christ Jesus, the Palestinians were already into the worship of the goat god Pan." The Romans had taken over Israel around 68 BC. Okay, 68 BC. And so that was before Jesus. That was before, and we know it ain't no Jesus. But we just letting you know what was in the land. And see, when we say that, when we talk about Saturnalia and we talk about the Bacchanalia and we talk about many of the Roman festivals, a lot of people think that that's some hypothetical, that, they almost, it's almost like it wasn't really real, that somehow that is a mythical festival or something like that. And that's just not true. That, that these areas, like Israel, they practice. I mean, that's just like, America. You see, in Christmas, you see, it's no different. It's no different than being in the Roman Empire when Saturnalia was the premier holiday. It was the premier holiday. Saturn was looked at as the primordial god of abundance. He was the god of harvest, and he ruled Rome at uh at a time which they called the Golden Age. And so Saturnalia was a time, a festival where, it was looked at as, returning to the golden age, where people's aspirations was to look, into the future. Just like when we say, around New Year's, that we want to be a better us, we want to be a better us. And so, we look for abundance and things we need to do to achieve that. And so that's what, Saturnalia was about. So, they actually practiced Saturnalia in the nation of Israel. And they actually practiced a Saturnalia, but now I don't know about the Bacchanalia, because the Bacchanalia was even worse than Saturnalia. Bacchanalia was off the chain. It was just grossed out. You see what I'm saying? That even the Romans banned that shit. And so they was over the top with that shit. You s- you see, the Saturnalia was, you could, you was it was on some Mardi Gras shit. probably on some steroids, but the Bacchanalia was way out the gate. They couldn't, it wasn't no way, you know, a festival you can have for the secular public. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do that. They had to have that shit, in a hidden, somewhere hidden and shit. They could, cause the guards would run up on their ass and shit and lock their ass up. That's how wild it was. So, what we have to get across to the people is that the Saturn and Pan, and when we say these things, they actually worship these gods for hundreds of years. You got to understand that Britain, you talking about that the Romans fell in Britain. They came, they took over in Britain, not not much longer than when they took over in Israel. They took over in maybe they took over in Israel, like I said, around 68 BC. I think they took over in Britain around, maybe it was a little bit there. I believe it was something like 40 AD or something like that. But they stayed in Britain for 400 years. And so you understand that they practiced Santeria in Britain. You see, and America is the child. They brought a lot of that into America with them. The Santinilian and the Yule. The Yule was the Vikings. And so after when the Romans left Britain, because they had been defeated themselves. Rome had failed. It was over for that part of the Roman Empire, even though Constantinople and the Byzantine, the western half of the Roman Empire continued. It was the eastern part that had collapsed. You see, it was the eastern part that had collapsed. And but understandable that these deities were actually, so it's nothing for you to understand that hard, even when you look at the symbolisms of Rome in America, and I went over that too, and I will show you that America is saturated in Roman symbolism, saturated. Okay, deities, and you'd be surprised how many statues of Greco-Roman deities all over the United States, especially in the capital of the states and the government, all through DC, all through the, yeah, is nothing but Greco-Roman deities all over. You see, so they still venerate to this day. And even and they in the symbolisms, they good as at creating the symbolism. And even though you might not see the statue, they don't have to always show the statue. And they'll show symbols, that are a representative of these deities, but you don't know the symbol. So you would just look at it from a mundane aspect, a surface level, and like, just to drop the jewel, like the acorns and that you see in Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, you got the acorn, when we was in school, we would put little projects together for Thanksgiving. And you had a leaf, you had the little leaves and shit, you get little acorns and shit, but people don't understand that in the Viking, the Celtic uh culture, the oak tree is sacred to Thor. Sacred to Thor in the Germanic culture. And and they had a particular tree that they called the Thor's oak. And when you deal with the Celtics, you deal with the Vikings, the Nordics, they do a lot of their ceremonies in groves. These is areas like if you come into a forest area, it's trees everywhere, but it's certain areas where it's no trees. It's like it could be in the middle of the forest and it's flat land. You see, it's surrounded by trees, but it's an area where there's no trees, and that is considered to be a grove, and they'll be in the center of the damn forest performing ceremonies in these areas. And so a certain part of Germany they call Hesse, Germany, they had the tree called Thor's oak, and what's his name? Boniface, Saint Boniface, went into Hesse and cut it down. He cut it down. And so that was the end of, the what they call the pagan worship of. But what they do when you make your little artwork, at school, and even little decorations for the house. They use the oak acorn. They don't use a lot of times that you can get acorn any kind, but when you ready to spend money, if it's the top of the line gonna be the oaks, the oak leaves, because they make all type of floral, uh, what is it? It's decorations, floral decorations for the house, for Thanksgiving. And so you can buy wreaths for the door they'll have, the leaves, and it's sacred to Thor, but you would never know that. And see, and that's and to black it up, Thursday, Thanksgiving is the only holiday, major holiday that falls on Thursday every year. You see, that's significant. That's significant that we understand that. And so this is something that I studied, and the evidence is clear. There's no doubt about it. So you don't have to see the hammer. You don't, and I done seen symbols where they got the Thor's hammer, leaves, and the acorn, all of them together. But see, they ain't gonna show you the hammer, because they show you the hammer, you gonna know what it is. It's the third. Yeah, yeah, I believe it's always the third Thursday. Yep. Yeah. You say time oak tree. Yeah, the oak tree is considered strong, and it's other tree, but that oak tree is like a, a great symbol amongst a whole lot of cultures. But Thor is in the Nordic is Thor. It's his symbol. You know what I'm saying? Now I believe that even Jupiter, you see, but Thor and Jupiter is the same deity. Just Jupiter is the Roman, you know, uh aspect, and then you got Zeus, you got Jupiter, you got Baal, thunder gods, and they all equivalent. You see, but I don't know about the Baal, but I know the oak tree is also sacred to Zeus and Jupiter. I looked it up. You know what I'm saying? And so this is how they do you. They just put symbols in there that represent them deities that you wouldn't know. And so they'll be representing them, you know. That just like that pig that y'all niggas have on that Christmas, y'all had a Christmas pig author. That's right. I got a whole list, of different words, but author, that's right. Authorization. You see, another one, dealing with Thor is throne. I believe throne is in there too. Wait a minute, no, but it's switched. See the THRONE, but the R was put in front of the O. You see, so you had to, some of them like temple, like temple, even though it's L, L, but the E and the L is, but it's still symbolic chapel. You see, now even when again, I'm glad you dropped that. when you talk about the same etymology, you will find that these words is in a lot of things that and if you ain't understanding to look into the etymology, they'll hide that information in there. Now, El, because we know if you don't know, El is Saturn. That's who El is. That's his equivalent. And through all the research I done in references, they equate Saturn with El. So that's another way of them worshiping Saturn by saying El. They don't have to say Saturn. That's who Saturn is. You see? Now I'm gonna show you how they slick with it. You see, I'm gonna show you how they slick with it, how they create words. Now, if you look into satellite, you will see Saturn and L in that word. Satellite, sat L. You see sat L, satellite. You'll see that both the deities is in that, and just like elevate. Elite. It means high up. It means high up. It relates to authority in his culture. It relates to and not not per se in our culture. You got to understand that in their culture, Thor he wasn't the chief, but he was next in line. You know, he's looked at as if if the nation is under attack, he's the one that's gonna come forward. He's the defender of the nation. He's the primary warrior. And so in that, he's what happened? We I know ain't nobody now. Yeah, yeah. But but anyway, that's right. Gabriel, all the angels, Michael, Uriel, all the angels is El. But you know, see, even in when we say Noel, and we went over Noel, but a lot of people don't know. We went over Elf. You see, Elf in Santa and the Elf. But back to Thor, because Thor was their chief deity. He's some, and so that's necessary. You have to understand that English is a Germanic language. And so, in the Germanic understanding, he's symbolic of authority. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's where that come in at. But and so another one of the tree, the elm tree. You see, sacred to El. And I'm gonna show you another one where they good because Santa and the reindeer. But another term for the reindeer is what? The elk. You see? The elk. The elk. Okay. Nah, they said that the Phoenicians, this is what they say, that the Phoenicians sailed all through the Mediterranean, that they even left out of the Mediterranean and went into Britain. That's what they say. But in the terminology, El means sun, star, God. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Elite, elect. You see, but that the Phoenicians went into Britain. But now look, because they say the Africans was in there, and you got white writers that document that they was already over there before they came in there and exterminated them. But that's where you get when you spell Celtic. You see the L in Celtic. Gaelic. L is in that also. Gaelic. You see? Now, did they co-op? They didn't co-opted terminology. You see, they didn't co-opted terminology, but that's the root of it because El is symbolic of, as he says, sun, higher up, heights, meaning in consciousness, achievement. And when we look at this the symbolisms of El, we see that is Osiris. I mean, he was depicted as Osiris. When they showed the statues of what he looked like, he was Osiris. And so when we as we touch back over here, and I brought that up only to show family that, that the actual worship of Pan was land. Yeah, the actual worship us and wherever you see Pan, you go uh elevation. That's right. Elevator. You know, elevator. L is in a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Element, the elements. You see, it's even in elephant, elementary, electricity, electronic. You see, electron, electric, elusive. You see, elixir. L was depicted as in some aspects 'cause when you see what as they depicted him in what they call Canaan, you see him many times with the Atef crown with you got the two feathers on the end. You see, that's the that crown was worn by Osiris. You see, and and then they show him with one where he got the crown of Upper Egypt. They show El with the crown of Upper Egypt. So I mean, it was an extension of Egypt. What up, though? It was just it was an extension of Upper Egypt. I mean, well, Lower Egypt. I mean, it's just an extension of Egypt. Period. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, what up, though? You see, and so even to excel, to excel, Jewel. You see, Jewel. Not in, long before the, in chapel, when you go into the chapel and marvel, marvel. And even, even when you talk, now this is on that Saturnian, Jewish worship of Saturn, because we understand that El is all, and we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna deal with that on another level. That's another. This shit can't be done in one night. And I can explain that. But even the fact that they got that square, they wear that square, which is Masonic, which is, and we'll get off into the tassel, that hang from the square. All of the symbolisms that go along with that. But yeah, so yeah, they find, that Pan, they in the temple, and they didn't found many statues of Pan over there. So when we say that that the Rome or the Greeks venerated Pan and Saturn, that shouldn't be anything that it would you would be amazed about. Because like I said, if you go off into the goddamn Kabbalah and you see all the shit that they, venerating in that, now this one was and then you had this temple over here, and that was also sacred to Pan. This one was right, when you look at the whole complex, you got and then you had that was to Pan, and then you had a little grotto over here to Pan. So he had major worship. It wasn't just like he had and this cave was, you know what? And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show y'all what's inside. I got footage of what's inside the cave. They considered this cave, they dubbed it the gates of hell. And I'll show this to you. Right over there, you see the tomb right there, the tomb temple of the sacred goats. Now that's that temple. The tomb the tomb temple of the sacred goats. Okay, so that's uh that's this one. And then this one over here is the grot, I believe was the grotto of the the dancing goats. They even had the temple of Zeus in there. You know, the saints, they call it the sanctuary of Pan over there in Israel. Okay, yeah, they're the temple of Zeus right there. So you had the temple of Zeus, you had the temple of you had the two temples to Pan, then you had the shrine of Pan. You had the shrine of Pan where they had a large statue over there. And is they didn't found all type of statues all through this area of Pan. So he was most definitely highly venerated over there. Highly venerated. Okay. And so just wanted to bring that out as we move through, you know, this season. I'm gonna be dealing with a lot of occultism, and so when I bring up that the Jews is into the worship of Saturn, it shouldn't be hard for you to believe. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be hard for you to believe, and that's why I keep showing you that the Roman worship was throughout the whole of the empire, including Britain, and and they brought it over here to America too. And it wasn't really that long, it was it most definitely was 1,000 years later, from when the Romans was there. But 1,000 years is nothing when you really think about it, as far as people, the veneration of a powerful empire. The worship of Egypt is gonna go on forever. It's gonna go on forever. It's gonna be in the hearts and minds of the people for forever. It's never going away. So, the Romans had a very powerful impact on them people because the Romans got their education, what little they had, from Africa, but it was profoundly more advanced than anywhere else. So all them other European tribes, they look at Rome like we look at Egypt. The Romans was the ones that brought, and they were savages. The Romans were savages. You see what I'm saying? With some goddamn, with the power to force some architects to build some temples, but within them temples, they were still savages. You see what I'm saying? But they was able to bring a lot of the rest of them European tribes into cities and shit like that. And so that information has never left them. They continue. That's why, and that just show you that out of all the gods because all the days of the week was named after Roman gods at first, just like the planets. They was all and you see when the Vikings came in, the English changed the days of the week, to the Viking gods. But which one did they leave alone? They left Saturn alone. That should tell you something. Because I don't even think that they had an equivalent for him. All the other gods that they had an equivalent to, they changed. But he was something of an enigma. They didn't have no equivalent for Saturn, and they knew that how powerful he was in Rome, and they knew he was the primordial, and so they left him there and got rid of the rest of them. And so that should say something too. And so the Jews, with their contact, staying in Rome and being ruled by Romans, they celebrate on Saturday. That's their Shabbat. That's their Sabbath. It's Saturday. Okay. And when we talk about Pan, and you'll see that goat sacrifice, that's they sacrifice of choices, that goat, which is Pan. They and when they talk about that demon, that goat demon, Azazel, you see, that's Pan. That's exactly who it is that they pay homage to, because they was paying homage to him. You understand what I'm saying? Over 2,000 years ago in Palestine, ain't nothing changed. What you want to see? Okay, I didn't know. What you was asking, Nick? You say you. Let's see one more time. What you was talking about? Let's see, because I'm about to get up out of here. What you was trying to see? Azazel. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, that's the what they call the scapegoat. That's the scapegoat, and what it is, they on that holiday that they call Yom Kippur, where they give a sacrifice. They give one sacrifice to Yahweh. They give to Yahweh, and then they give the other. They sacrifice the second goat to that demon god that they call Azazel. That goat is called the scapegoat. And what they do, the priest put his hands on the goat head, and what is symbolically is transferring the sins of Israel into the goat. And then they take the goat out there and they sacrifice him to Azazel, okay, which is one of the prince. And some say he's the devil, or he's one of the chief demons. And in the Kabbalah, they look at him as a prince of hell. I don't know if they consider him to be equivalent with Lucifer, but I believe, yeah, 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 that's right, falling. That's right. Yeah, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And so right there, so that show you right there, they venerate more than one God. They have to appease more than one God. All right, family. We stayed in here, we did it. I didn't put in overtime tonight. Yeah, they taught that. Yep. Azazel. All you had to do was look it up. The scapegoat. The scapegoat. Look that up. Mm-hmm. And you will get to the bottom of it. All right, family. I appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you. What a night. I see y'all tomorrow. Stay conscious, family. Liberate. Liberate. All right. Black power.